Brainrot the news.
Hi, I'm Tessa with Brainrot News with a few bits of news for you to choke on from March 25th. Oh, would you look at that? Donald Trump is making life miserable for international students again, because if there's one thing Republicans hate more than educated Americans, it's educated foreigners who might actually contribute to society. For a brief, shining moment after the pandemic, international student enrollment in the US was bouncing back, but now, thanks to Trump's latest round of immigration paranoia, foreign students are wondering if coming to the US for a degree is worth the risk of being deported for existing wrong. That's the new reality. More deportations, more visa restrictions, and just a hint of fascism with those threats of kicking students out if they so much as attend a political protest. God forbid an international student peacefully voices an opinion while paying tens of thousands of dollars for a degree they could get cheaper elsewhere. And honestly, who can blame them for looking elsewhere? The UK, Canada, and Europe are all just sitting back watching the US self-destruct and saying, oh, you don't want the best and brightest from around the world? Cool, we'll take them. And it's not just about the students. This is terrible for US universities, which rely on international students to keep the whole system from collapsing in on itself. In the last academic year, international students pumped a record $43.8 billion into the US economy and kept 378,000 jobs afloat. You know, the kind of numbers that Republicans usually pretend to care about, except, of course, when those dollars are coming from non-white, non-American sources. But instead of rolling out the red carpet and making higher education in the US attractive to international talent, Trump and his goons are basically putting up a giant neon sign that says, go away, we don't want you. Unless you're a billionaire or willing to work for scraps under an exploitative visa program. Let's not pretend that universities can actually fix this with some reassurance. You think an email that says, don't worry, we support our international students is gonna mean anything when ICE is out here treating them like criminals, when even leaving the country for a legitimate family emergency might mean not being allowed back in? The US used to be a dream destination for international students. Now it's a gamble. A very expensive, very stressful gamble. And for what? A diploma that might not even be worth the risk when you can get a world-class education somewhere else that isn't actively trying to ruin your life? So, congrats, America. If Trump gets his way, we're not just losing smart, talented people, we're forcing them to go build their futures elsewhere. Nothing says make America great again like running off the people who actually wanted to be here. Trump and his merry band of bigots are back at it, making life as difficult as possible for transgender and non-binary people. Because banning gender-affirming care wasn't enough, trying to outlaw drag shows wasn't enough, forcing trans kids to out themselves at school wasn't enough. Nope, now they're going after passports, because apparently they won't rest until they've stripped every possible right away from LGBTQ+ people. The new policy strips away the gender X marker for non-binary people. No more ability for trans people to update their passports to reflect their actual gender. Instead, they want to force everyone into the rigid binary categories of female.